bisnis edupreneur. Edupreneur adalah gabungan antara pendidikan dan kewirausahaan. Jadi teman-teman, untuk berhasil dalam bidang ini, seorang edupreneur harus memiliki yang pertama personal branding, yang kedua membuat konten yang menarik, relevan dan mendidik, terus mengenali platform media sosial, dan mengenali kelebihan dan kekurangan kita, terus peluang-peluang yang bisa kita ambil dari bisnis edupreneur. Baik, kita bahas satu persatu. Yang pertama yakni tentang personal branding. Personal branding adalah cara teman-teman mempresentasikan diri dan mampu membangun reputasi di mata audiens, khususnya di bidang pendidikan ya contohnya. Personal branding yang kuat dapat meningkatkan kredibilitas dan membuat orang percaya pada layanan atau produk yang teman-teman tawarkan. Dari personal branding ini, langkah-langkahnya, yang pertama, teman-teman tentukan dulu keahlian atau keunikan teman-teman. Perlu kita ketahui bersama, potensi diri teman-teman adalah penting untuk bisnis ini. Ya, potensi diri adalah kemampuan atau kekuatan yang dimiliki seseorang, baik sudah terwujud maupun yang belum sepenuhnya terlihat atau dimanfaatkan. Ini mencakup berbagai aspek seperti kemampuan intelektual, fisik, emosional, dan sosial. Potensi dapat dikembangkan melalui usaha dan pelatihan, serta mencakup berbagai jenis kecerdasan.
Okay, so even I know the struggle is real making money on the internet. Hi, I'm Jordan. Well, that's not me, that's like the bootleg version of me. But like me personally, I've given up too many times in the past. Like, I was constantly looking for so many ways to earn money online and just ran into a dead end every single time. When I looked for help, people just ended up scamming me. And that's why today I'm so passionate to tell you a way out of all this bull crap. What? Okay, y'all ready for it? Guys, I'm telling you, affiliate marketing is the way to go. I'm gonna cut to the chase and tell you some of the facts you need to know before you get started, so let's get it. Okay, so what exactly is affiliate marketing? I looked up the textbook definition and it's so boring. So let me explain to you and spice it up for you like this. Affiliate marketing is like helping out your friend with his business. He's like, hey man, I'm trying to sell this product through the internet. Think you can help me out? And you're like, yeah man, let's do it. So you don't actually have a product, but your friend does. So you take his product and sell it through various amounts of sources on the internet, such as social media, YouTube, blog posts, websites, and all that good stuff. And when you sell your friend's product, for each sale you get a commission, or a portion of money for selling it. Thank you. And everybody lives happily ever after. Now there are so many ways to do this. You can find products to sell from huge places like Amazon and Walmart, which have affiliate programs that are located at the bottom of their pages. Or you could just join an actual affiliate marketing website such as Shopify or ClickBank like me. You can join any of these programs and get started selling their products right away through the internet. The thing is that you can do all of this for free. Can't lie though, when I first heard about all of this, I was so excited and felt like I was gonna start like instantly drowning in money. But I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. The reality is that you need a plan to get started and direction. It's not always easy, but it is possible. When I personally first found out about it, I was scavenging the internet on where to start and how to start. So really quickly, I'm gonna tell you 3 major things you need to do and or think about before you get started. And after I list it, I'm going to tell you my personal opinion on how to get started. Number 1, choose your niche. A niche is sort of like a category. Things like health, fitness, cooking, gardening, gaming, all of that good stuff. These are some of the best products to sell online. The best category in my opinion, however, is health and fitness. Everybody buys from that niche. However, the trick on choosing a niche is to find a need that your audience has. For example, in order for people to participate in cooking, they have to buy the products. So that makes it that much easier for you to sell a product. Number 2, target an audience. Your target audience can be on a variety of platforms such as Facebook, blog posts, or YouTube videos, depending on where your niche mostly is. Like for health and fitness, the majority of people will most likely be on YouTube and blog posts looking for how-to tutorials and stuff like that. Number 3, producing content. Now listen, I have a saying. Good marketing can't make up for a crap product. When you show others your affiliate link online, you have to be clever with it. Don't just shove it in their face. Make sure they have a clear understanding on what the product does and write something beneficial about it. Because, that's why they're coming to you in the first place. Oh, but Jordan, what does this all mean? Okay, look, all of this might sound very difficult to do, but the reality is that, guys, this is a process. It doesn't take a lot of time per se, but it does take some work. And the steps are really simple. And to help you with all this, I provided some links in the description. Best-selling author Patrick Chan has very easy steps you can immediately implement in order to become a successful affiliate. Look, this is not a scam, and I completely understand if you were hesitant, and it's completely optional. But I really wouldn't tell you anything that I personally don't believe in, because he's helped me and helped many others. If not anything, just check him out. And if you like this video, you can just destroy that subscribe button right down there. Right there. Yeah, at the bottom. Yeah, you see it. And you'll get new videos every week. I'm Jordan Williams.
Ekonomi kreatif adalah sektor yang mengandalkan kreativitas, pengetahuan, dan keterampilan individu untuk menghasilkan produk dan layanan bernilai tambah. Sektor ini mencakup seni, desain, musik, film, teknologi, dan kerajinan, mendorong inovasi, peluang bisnis, lapangan kerja, dan daya saing wilayah. Yang selanjutnya adalah ekonomi tradisional versus ekonomi kreatif. Ekonomi tradisional sendiri merujuk pada sistem ekonomi yang berfokus pada produksi barang dan jasa dengan memanfaatkan sumber daya alam dan tenaga kerja secara langsung. Sistem ini seringkali dikeluarkan pada praktik dan tradisi yang telah ada sejak lama. Yang selanjutnya adalah ekonomi kreatif. Ekonomi kreatif adalah sistem ekonomi yang mengutamakan kreativitas, inovasi, dan ide sebagai sumber utama dalam menciptakan nilai tambah. Sektor ini mencakup berbagai industri yang berhubungan dengan seni, budaya, teknologi, dan media. Tentunya ekonomi kreatif itu tidak sama ya dengan industri kreatif. Adapun 5 unsur penting kreativitas. Yang selanjutnya adalah subsektor ekonomi kreatif. 6 subsektor ekonomi kreatif yang paling dominasi laki-laki. Dari 16 subsektor sebelumnya, sebagian besar dominasi oleh laki-laki. Dengan 6 subsektor menunjukkan dominasi laki-laki lebih dari 80%. Mengapa ekonomi kreatif itu penting? Ekonomi kreatif memiliki peran strategis dalam pembangunan ekonomi dan sosial. Karena yang pertama, ekonomi kreatif berfokus pada mengolah ide dan gagasan menjadi produk, jasa, atau solusi inovatif yang bernilai ekonomi, dengan kreativitas sebagai inti dari proses tersebut. Yang selanjutnya adalah pentingnya perekonomian kreatif terhadap perekonomian di Indonesia. Yang terakhir adalah potensi sumber daya alam dan pengaruhnya terhadap ekonomi kreatif. Potensi sumber daya alam atau SDA suatu wilayah berperan penting dalam pengembangan ekonomi kreatif dan industri kreatif. Dengan pemanfaat sumber daya alam yang tepat, ekonomi kreatif dapat berkembang, menciptakan lapangan kerja, dan meningkatkan kesejahteraan masyarakat.
jadi apa saja sih kendala dan peluang dari ekonomi kreatif? Yaitu kendalanya peningkatan kebutuhan secara SDM. Nah, jadi SDM kita bisa meningkat. Kemudian masalah membajakan karya kreatif. Nah, ini juga kendala yang perlu diperhatikan oleh pemerintah. Kemudian keterbatasan pembiayaan. Nah, yang tadi kan kendala, sekarang